You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.
It used to be that calling a film a turkey was an insult. Nowadays, there's actually an audience for some of the worst movies ever made.
Baby, you are gonna go broke showing turkeys like these.
Now we're talking turkey.
Gobble, gobble, motherfucker.
It's turkey time. Gobble, gobble.
Welcome, everybody, to Let's Talk Turkeys, the podcast where we have good conversation about real bad movies. Today, we're talking Jaws 3D, or Jaws 3 from 1983.
A creature alive today has survived millions of years of evolution. It lives to kill. A mindless eating machine that will attack and devour anything. One terrified you like nothing you have ever experienced when it captured your imagination and tapped your fear like no movie before it. Then, just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water, two continued the legend and spread the fear. Next summer, nature's most terrifying creature takes on an all-new dimension in an all-new adventure. And for the first time, the terror of Jaws will not stop at the edge of the screen. Jaws 3D. The third dimension is terror.
My co-host, Nikki Flicks, is off this week, but I do have joining me my special guest that I met in the Amity Jaws group on Facebook. Please welcome Tara to the pod. Hi, Tara.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Oh, I'm jawsome.
I expect no less.
Of course.
So I want to start out by asking you a quick question before we jump into the stats.
Sure.
83, the movie was out, but do you remember the first time that you saw this, or the first time you saw it and it made a lasting impact on you?
Wow. 83. So I was about 14. I guess it probably came out in the summer, right? So I was 14, about to be 15. I must have seen it with my parents in the theater, but I don't really remember.
Okay, so you don't remember the whole 3D experience with the glasses?
I never saw it in 3D. I still to this day have not seen it in 3D.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
I can honestly say I don't think I have either.
We're missing much, but you know.
This is true. This is true. I don't know how much more it would have enhanced our viewing experience. Okay, so I'm going to jump in real quick and let you know the reason we're able to talk about this today on my turkey pod is because critically it was a bomb. It was a turkey. They only liked it 12% on Rotten Tomatoes is the score.
Wow, that high?
Well, the audience score isn't much better. Rotten Tomatoes, it's got a 17. So yeah, I think it's maybe just a home video favorite for those that love it.
Possibly, yes.
Yeah, we're looking at a 98-minute runtime with credits, which honestly felt really long in a rewatch last night. And it did have a budget, shockingly, of $18 million back in 83, which...
You know what that went to? Louis Gossett Jr. had just come off winning an Oscar for Officer and a Gentleman the year before, so most of that budget was probably to pay him.
Oh, Mr. Calvin Bouchard.
Calvin Bouchard. Yep.
I love the way he says his name.
I know. It's so fun.
Well, the 3D was hot at the time. There were a slew of those bad movies, the Friday the 13th Part 3, Amityville Part 3, all in 3D. So they were banking on that being the selling point, and it worked because it did 88 million at the box office.
Wow.
I know, I was shocked to read that number. We have directed by Joe Alves. This is the only film he ever directed.
Yeah.
But I feel like he got the gig because he was the second unit director on Jaws and Jaws 2, which
Right.
I didn't know.
Yeah. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah.
So good for Joe.
Good for him. All right, so let's jump into a quick little plot synopsis here. For anybody who hasn't seen Jaws 3, first of all, why are you listening to this without having watched it? But secondly, here you go. A giant 35-foot shark becomes trapped, I know, becomes trapped in a SeaWorld theme park, and it is up to the grown sons of Police Chief Brody to rescue everyone. Now, I got that from, I believe, IMDb, and all I could think was whoever wrote that didn't watch the movie.
No.
They rescue everyone? I don't think so.
They read the movie poster and pulled the tagline or something. They did not see the movie.
I think so. And then my favorite little tidbit about this is Dennis Quaid has been quoted multiple times, and I watched a video interview with him. I'm sure you know this, that he was so into cocaine use in the 80s that he doesn't remember filming this movie.
No, he famously said, I was in Jaws, what? Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, would it surprise you to know that this motion picture was nominated for 5 awards? They were Golden Raspberries.
Yes, all Razzies. Yep.
Yes, ma'am. But still. Okay, so let us jump into the motion picture. We have now, okay, opening credits, all in 3D, had to be pretty rad, I would imagine, on the big screen.
You know, I was wondering, did that really look cool even in 1983? Because I know I can't see them in 3D, but they are bad. They are bad.
They're painful. They are painful to watch now because you know they're supposed to be in 3D, and and you still can't forgive it. They just look so out of place.
Yeah, it looks like a second grader did Photoshop.
Yes, it does. But I'm thinking on the big screen, if I remember correctly, my mom and my aunt did go see it and had told me what an awesome viewing experience it was. It was the first thing. Yeah, it was the first thing that they had seen in 3D.
Okay.
So that's the only reference I have for that. But these credits, last night I'm watching this going, wow, this makes me want to turn this off.
Mm-hmm.
So it was hard to watch. The whole movie actually was hard to watch, not in 3D, because you can painfully see where everything is supposed to be 3D.
Right.
So it's no secret that anybody that knows me knows this is my least favorite of the Jaws franchise, which means I put Revenge above this one.
Yeah, you know, it depends on the day for me. They're both really, really shitty movies, but I don't know. I think I like this one better than Revenge.
Oh, do tell. Why is that?
Well, Dennis Quaid, I mean, come on. Dennis Quaid is just a babe. And, you know, to use some 1983 vernacular, he's just cute. And you got to love Louis Gossett Jr. I mean, he's amazing in everything he does. He's such a parody in this movie, but it works because the movie is such a hunk of junk that it's, you know, it works fine. I thought Dennis Quaid, and so he plays Mike Brody. Mike and his girlfriend, Kay, and Sean Brody had really, really good chemistry. The part where Sean shows up at the water park and they all hug and kind of hang all over each other, they just really seem like family, like really, really close friends, family. You know, I just thought they had really, really good chemistry.
So it's interesting that you mentioned that part when Sean shows up.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have in my notes in very bold letters that that is an interesting familial bond that they have, because Kay just grabs little Sean and smooches him right on the lips.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh, so
I
that's
know.
how it is in their family.
Yeah. Let's share Kay. No, I, I, I guess I remember that, but I just thought the way they were kind of palling around and let's hang out later and they just seemed like, really chummy and like they really, really liked each other. And I just thought that was cool.
I would agree with that. I felt that too. In this whole movie, the only thing that struck me as super believable were all the relationships between the characters.
Mm-hmm.
That to me was the only believable part of this entire movie.
So we're done.
So the
Thanks.
end. Goodbye. Okay. I did find it interesting that the water skiers in the beginning of the movie, we see them practicing and then they go through from the ocean, I guess, there in Florida by SeaWorld. They go through the gates into the park.
Mhm.
And when they shut the gate, of course, the shark follows them in and that's how it gets in the park.
Right.
But you would think, wouldn't, I mean, we wouldn't have a movie if that didn't happen, but realistically, that doesn't seem smart or practical. Like, was that not an issue ever? Nothing foreign ever got in the park that way before?
Well, they were just opening, remember? It was brand new. Remember how they're training all the girls with their little silly hand motions and welcome to SeaWorld and, that kind of. So they're all learning. So it's a brand new park. So it had never been an issue before.
I get you. Okay. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Good point. Okay. So then I'll forgive that. But so Mr. Shark is in the park. We meet Calvin Bouchard, who's the director of the park. And the thing I noticed right off the bat also is this movie, whoever edited this, there are so many quick cuts from scene to scene that it's hard to watch. It's not an enjoyable flowing experience.
Huh.
It goes, here's Calvin, he's talking to everybody, and all of a sudden cut to Mike Brody doing his thing with his team, cut to Kay at the tank with Shamu. It's not a seamless transition from scene to scene.
Okay.
Which with my critical movie watching eye, because I was looking for problems with this for the pod specifically, that was glaring. I was like, whoever cut this movie up chopped it literally. Did you notice that at all watching this? That the
Not
scenes?
But you know what? It's funny. My ex-husband is an editor, and that would, I'm sure, totally leap out at him. That's he would notice right away, being an editor and working for companies that have won Oscars. He
Good
would
for him.
Yeah, he hasn't won any Oscars, but not, but yeah, that's something that he would definitely notice. But I'm just kind of your run of the mill, dirt bag that goes to the movies and doesn't really pay attention to that kind of stuff. So
right.
Something
it
to
just kind of, yeah, it just kind of took me out of it a bit. I was like, it was so choppy, and I thought all it would have taken for it to be a more pleasurable experience to watch was longer scenes where they flow more organically. That's, I don't know, just me, yeah, picking it apart. So in all these quick edits, we meet basically the entire cast of characters in the first 5 minutes, including Philip Fitzroyce and his assistant Jack. I love them, I have to say.
Yes.
I love their relationship, again, going back to all the characters in this movie. Did you love them?
I made a note that the assistant is Jack. I never caught his name. He seems so genuinely distraught when Fitzroyce meets his untimely end in the jaws of Jaws. He's so upset. I was almost wondering if he really thought a shark really ate the guy, because he was really, really upset. I thought, wow, that is some stellar acting. If it was more than 14 seconds, he might have been in contention for some kind of award or something. He was good. But yeah, they had a really good relationship.
Agreed. I totally bought what he was selling, 100%.
Yes.
Okay, so let's jump ahead to the first kill of the movie, which happens pretty early because the gate was messed up when the shark tried to come in. they send down a good old Shelby Overman to secure the gate. And I was a little disappointed, I gotta say. The fact that all we see is a quick shot of the shark mouth. We get a chomping sound, broken goggles, and then that horrible 3D arm floating at the screen. That's
Mhm.
it. That's it for the kill scene.
Yeah.
As Jaws movies go, I don't think you want to open with that, because then I'm like, I'm not scared. I'm not worried. I'm not nervous where the shark is, because we didn't get to see it. I don't know. I don't know if that was a directing choice or how that worked. But yeah, I wasn't scared. I wasn't sold.
Yeah, it kind of freaked me out. And I think part of it, I mean, back in 83, not anymore, but I think part of that might be because of the later scenes with Overman's girlfriend and how she's first really pissed off thinking that he's out screwing around. And then she starts to get really worried because he hasn't come home. And she says, I'm not mad at that old boy, or whatever she says. She's got her little Southern accent. And
Right.
I think that that's played out well because we know what happened, but she doesn't. Nobody does at this point. And so
True.
it added to the intrigue, I guess, because like I said, we already knew what happened to Shelby, but she doesn't. So
Well, also, honestly, I can't really flag the shark as the villain of this movie, because to his credit, or her credit, because we find out it's a mother, to her credit, she did try to leave, because right after she kills Shelby, they show the gate like bumping and moving.
right.
So she was going to get the hell out of Dodge. She wasn't going to stay around and kill everybody.
That wasn't the original plan. No.
Right? Right. So, really, it's hard to tag her as the villain, honestly. Okay, so you made a good point there with Shelby's girlfriend, Charlene, the waitress, because then we jump again to a scene at the bar where Mike and Sean and Kay are knocking it off for the night. They're having some beers and relaxing, and we meet good old Kelly, which Kelly Ann Bukowski, played by Leah Thompson. I love her.
Love her.
Right? I was confused, and riddle me this, Batman. They're playing standoff in the bar.
Right. Yes.
I had never seen that or heard of that before this movie.
No, me either.
And I've never seen it or heard of it since this movie.
Right.
Did they make it up for this movie? Is it a real thing?
That's an interesting question. I just figured I was, not up on Florida bar games. I don't know. But no, never. I've been in a few bars and I've never seen that take place. So I don't know.
Right? Makes me wonder if like the, AD's child was playing it on the lunch hour and they were like, hey, I saw my kid playing this game. Wouldn't it be great to write it into the movie?
But that's a bar. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen an adult do that. But anyway, it's so fun to watch her, and I love her. And again, like all the characters, she fits right in seamlessly, starts meshing and flowing with Sean and everybody.
Yep.
Probably, I'm with you. I love Lou Gossett Jr., but she's probably my next favorite character in the movie.
Yeah, I would go with that.
Okay, so another quick jump cut to two guys in a raft in the dark talking about doing something to earn some money. We don't know who they are, where they are, what they're doing.
No.
And then we quick cut away again from them. We don't even finish the scene. It's so bizarre how this I swear to God. So then they cut to the end of the night. Sean and Kelly are breaking off, and I do like that when Mike and Kay are having their serious talk about life, and he's got a job offer in Venezuela, and what are they going to do with their relationship? And he mentions the reference, even though a lot of people don't consider this movie canon and don't count it in the Jaws franchise, he references their dad and the incident with the shark in Amity. I like that they tried.
Yeah, I think that's the only tie-in the entire film. But yes, it was a nice little entry there.
Yeah, I thought so. They tried, I thought. And I thought it was sweet that we get to see a little glimpse into their personal relationship. And I was worried we weren't going to get back to that. Like, what happens? Do they go to Venezuela? But I guess they do reference it later. So Kelly and Sean, they fool around in the lagoon. I guess his fear of water goes away when he's horny.
Well, what does Kay say? Never underestimate the power.
You're so right.
And they face deep. I mean, come on.
That's true. It doesn't feel harrowing or, like he's in danger.
No.
But then we do get that quick cut back to those two guys in the raft and their death scene, which in a rewatch, I've forgotten when the shark kills people. So I'm all excited, like, here comes this scary, dark shark scene. No, they're underwater and you see the flashlight go dim and then the raft pops and the other guy falls in. That's it.
And the raft collapses on itself and that's the end. Yeah. Yep.
And I'm like, we are watching a shark movie, right?
Well, maybe Alves realized how horrible this shark looked and didn't want it to be on screen that much because it was a really piss poor shark. So
that's a good point.
Yeah.
But again, you would think
dark. What would we have seen anyway?
No, that's true. And you would think his experience working on 1 and 2, he would know the power of tension building without seeing the shark.
Right.
But to me, that didn't come through either. I just felt totally let down.
Okay.
Honestly.
I can see that.
Yeah. Oh, I love the 80s things in this movie. I love that I'm old enough to remember them because like in the next scene, we have Mike and Kay and Sean at their house and there's beepers, pagers.
Yes.
And a landline.
Keep your beeper. Yes, I know.
Yeah. I don't remember. I was a teenager, so I don't remember. I don't think I had a pager. I don't think I was on that bandwagon, but I always wanted one.
Right? Yeah, me too. Same.
But I just wonder when I'm watching things like this, what young people now are thinking. When like, they see
Yeah. Why are they, what? Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that thing on the wall with that curly cord hanging out of it? Yeah.
Yeah. It's Commissioner Gordon calling on the bat phone because I think it's red also, actually.
Oh my.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
The Brodies have a thing for colorful phones. Didn't Chief Brody have a yellow phone in the house in Amity?
And he had the 2 lines too. He had the bat phone too.
Yes, he did.
Good memory. That's right. Oh my God. Okay. So let's jump ahead. Oh, okay. Honorable mention in this movie for, I just watched Jaws the Revenge also.
Okay.
That movie, fashion-wise, screams 80s. There's shoulder pads. This movie, Jaws 3, I didn't feel like I was stuck, and maybe it has to do with all the SeaWorld attire everybody was wearing. But I didn't feel like I was stuck in the 80s fashion-wise.
Right.
Except for Charlene. Like you said, Shelby's girlfriend.
Yeah, I didn't notice. I don't remember.
She looks like she just got done it was a night at the bar, but it looks like she was out doing roller derby or disco. Or both.
Oh my.
She stormed in, pissed, throwing his shit down at Mike and going, where is he, yada yada. And all I could do was look at her outfit.
My gosh. And I completely missed it.
Yeah.
See, the of her acting just overshadowed what she was wearing for me. That must have been it.
Yes. And so then that leads me exactly to, you're so good at this. You're leading me right to my points. She says, and I want to know if you've ever heard this in your life. You tell him he can take, you know what I'm going to say. He can take a flying leap at a rolling donut on a gravel driveway.
Yep. No, that's pure Charlene.
Yeah. Have you ever?
No, but I love it. It's very descriptive.
This is true.
So yeah, but I kind of want to roll a donut down a gravel driveway now just to see how far it'll go.
Just don't take a flying leap at
it. No, I'm a little too large to fit through a flying donut, but yeah.
Oh my gosh. I just thought that was the best. And it was so over the top.
Definitely.
Did you notice too? This is just me being nitpicky. I love to laugh at this bad shit. When they're going through his stuff, they're looking through his passport and his driver's license, and my God, he looks like a Bond villain.
Oh,
Just
I
the
didn't know that. But there's something in IMDb, I think, about his license. There was something off about his license, and now I can't remember what it was.
I tell you what, it might have been. It might have been the credit card. The license looks like a mugshot.
That part has somebody else's name on it.
And it has expiration date of 0 of 0.
Oh, wow.
Because you best believe, Missy, I paused it.
Oh my.
Expiration 0 of 0. So he was not charging anything anywhere.
No.
But I just thought his passport and his driver's license with his look and his mustache, he looked like a serious Bond villain to me.
Great.
I
Well,
thought
and
we were,
tie-in, right? Because wasn't there a Bond villain named Jaws?
you found the cinematic universe connection.
I did. It's a gift. What can I say?
You've cracked it. And then let's see. Mike and Kay go out in that little yellow mini sub, which is the longest scene, the stretch in the movie that
Yes.
isn't chopped up.
Yes.
I feel like it only because they wanted to show off the 3D.
Mm-hmm.
Painfully long scenes. So long. Because they're looking for Shelby, and you're like, let's have a shark attack, let's have a dead body, let's have something. Finally, at the end, the shark goes to attack them. But before we can see too much of it, like you said, they don't show us much. The dolphins come in that Kay is training and help them get away.
Yep.
It's just, I wanted to see more of the shark. I wish it wouldn't have been such a horrible prop for this
It was
installment.
awesome.
Yeah, it's a shame, really. So let's fast forward ahead to Calvin and Fitzroyce and Mike and Kay come up with this plan to capture the shark. And I have to admit, they go ahead and catch the shark and they put it in a tank. And a pet peeve of mine when I was a teenager watching this, and it's still a pet peeve to this day, I had to Google it. When they're trying to keep the shark alive and Kay's in the tank and she's rubbing the shark.
Yeah.
And they
Can't
have
do
like,
that.
right, thank you. I had to Google it to make sure I wasn't nuts.
Nope. I've known that since I was like 7. Yeah, you can't rub a shark in opposite directions.
Right. And she's going to town, tube in the mouth, hand on the shark, rubbing it. And I thought, no, and bare hands too, because I paid attention. You're not doing that.
One of the things about leading up to that scene is are we at the scene yet where the public is there, or just Kay and
this is opening day, yes.
Okay, so there's a hand printed sign. Really, you're in Florida, not Machu Picchu. You can probably get somebody to make up a sign for you. So they've got this hand printed sign that Polly clearly did not do the printing on.
No.
And it says see the shark, like Tina in number 2 when she was like shark, remember?
Oh my God,
the shark.
What a great catch. What did you think of the Undersea Kingdom, though? Did you seriously not want to go there the second you saw that place?
Oh, I've been in a couple of those. I've been to places that have that, and it's pretty awesome. It's pretty cool. Really cheesy, though, that they had like that fake octopus tentacle come out and grab people and stuff. That would piss me off in real life. Like no, I'm here to see the sharks. I don't want that shit touching me. Don't ruin my experience by putting a fake octopus tentacle in the hallway. That's just weird. But the overall premise was pretty cool.
Yeah, agreed. That whole tentacle thing was weird because then you have that creepy sound of the guy going wah ha ha ha, like it's a haunted house.
Yeah.
Like what?
What was that?
Yeah, like give me the water experience, not the haunted house.
Right.
But okay, so then of course we see Shelby Overman's floating body pops up, and some girls in the Undersea Kingdom see it. And again, waiting for the movie to be scary.
You weren't scared when you saw Shelby's half-eaten face pop up at you?
I thought to myself, the budget clearly didn't go to effects or props.
Well, right. Yeah, they're paying Lou, I'm telling you.
That was 3/4 of their budget. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say too, I'm an animal lover, even killer sharks. And I was so sad when that fake shark in the tank dies, the baby.
Oh, me too. Totally. When it
I
just goes
was,
up, it's so depressing.
I know, I was so bummed.
Yeah, that was very
Um,
sad.
yeah, so we find out, that was the baby. So the mom is still in the park, and I like how uh, Calvin is trying to tell everybody, well, don't worry, we're fine here in the lagoon area because we have a bubble curtain that'll keep the sharks out. I Googled that, and that doesn't work hardly at all
Right,
in real life. And it's certainly not going to work against a 35-foot shark.
right. Our sharks are terrified of bubbles. That's what I hear. Yeah.
Yeah, I was furiously Googling facts about this movie.
Oh my
It's,
goodness.
yeah, if you were to look at
Yeah.
my history, it's pretty comical. Okay, so finally, with less than a half an hour of runtime to go, we get the reveal that there's a bigger shark. I didn't like that they say it's 35 feet long. I was bummed. I was
Yeah.
like, any reality that could have been is not going to happen.
Right. Suspension of
35
disbelief ends here. Yeah.
for sure. And
That's a whale, basically. That's not even a shark anymore. We're in whale territory now.
yeah, and you get a couple of dark shots of this back of a shark, and it's supposed to look big and menacing, and it's really not. Okay, so let's cut to Sean and Kelly on the bumper boats. I love this part.
Love that scene. Love it.
Have you ever done that? Bumper boats like that?
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, I don't think I have either, but it just looks like fun. I mean, shark aside.
Right. It does. But you know what? It would never happen nowadays because of the liability. Off into the water, there's no way that would ever happen nowadays. So 1980 is pretty much the last time for that.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I can't recall any time I've ever seen it in a movie other than this movie as well.
Right.
But so the shark is in the area there, and he knocks them off the bumper boats, and he takes a nice chunk out of Miss Kelly's thigh.
Yep.
I bought it. I thought the special effects looked good.
Mm-hmm.
She seemed scared and terrified.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the little bit of the shark head that we get for a second when it kind of pushes her out of the water when it bites her.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But that's honestly the only time in the whole movie that I felt a little bit of scared for the characters and worried that they were going to get killed. I wish this movie was scary. I can't say it
John's
enough.
whole thing was told you so. Told you so. Told you so. No.
Right? I mean, poor
Yeah.
Sean. He didn't even look that terrified, honestly, and the shark was right next to him.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, he got into some of Dennis Quaid's cocaine and he wasn't really, knowing what was going on at that point. I don't know.
Probably he was very calm.
Yes.
But okay. So even the part where the shark comes up behind the skiers and like is gonna maybe get them, I wasn't scared because it's so unbelievably huge, the big fin.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not buying that there's this 35-foot shark. I'm just not. I like when everybody gets trapped in the undersea kingdom because the shark rams the tunnel and so they have to
Mm-hmm.
seal it off. That was a little freaky because I get claustrophobic like that.
Right.
And I thought, oh my God, what would I do in that situation?
Right. And the water keeps rising and these people are terrified. And I'm thinking, how much pee is in that room?
That's where your brain went.
I'm a former swimmer. So, it's like,
That's amazing. Yeah, that had to be gross.
Yeah. Oh, it's warm. That's not water that you're feeling there. It's sorry.
It's not the experience you want when you go to the undersea kingdom.
Right.
It's just not. So Mike's team welds a patch for the tunnel and they can let everybody out. And Kay and Mike are underwater. And I like that the plan to get this big shark is Fitzroyce and his buddy are the bait. They're the live bait.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to lure the shark, 35-foot shark, into this little tunnel and shut the water flow off and trap it. I don't find that believable in any way.
No.
in this movie that's been, completely plausible up until now.
Right.
It's sad to me because the shark does get Fitzroyce, and his buddy, like you said earlier, is so torn up that he doesn't make it. I wanted to cry because he's so emotional.
Yeah. He really was. That was the best bit of acting, I think, in that entire movie.
I'm with you. If you were to like isolate just that scene, you'd be like, wow, what an amazing movie, as if you don't watch the rest of it.
Right.
Right. So let's see. They try and give us a few shots of the shark here, but it's so dark that you can't really see anything. Like you'd said, it's kind of a joke that this shark movie and we barely get any shark. So when it eats Fitzroyce, oh, go ahead.
There were some great shots of some real great whites, though. Real great white footage in the film that were excellent.
Yes, I did notice that.
It's just unfortunate that you can tell not only are those sharks nowhere near 35 feet long, that it just, when you do see the movie shark, it's so bad.
Yeah.
It's really, really obvious how bad it is because you've seen the actual sharks.
Well, and then, yes, agreed. And then this part is so comical that I completely checked out of any investing I was trying to have in this movie. When you can see the shot from inside the shark while it's swallowing or trying to swallow Fitzroyce.
Yes.
And you see like his hand and he's holding the grenade and we can see the teeth out the mouth of the shark. What?
Ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah. How did anybody get that point of view? Yeah.
Exactly. It's so terrible. And I also like that he's chomping him and there's blood everywhere, but yet a good majority of his head, shoulders, and arm are still in his mouth later for the finale.
Yes.
Didn't get swallowed.
No.
So bizarre. Okay, so let's jump ahead here to the end because this is so awesome. Mike and Kay make it back to the control room, which to me, again, with the Bond reference, it just looks like a secret control room lair of a Bond villain.
Yeah.
All gray and all the equipment and the lights. Yeah.
Like an traffic control tower.
Yes. But nephew Fred, Calvin's nephew's there working the equipment, and the shark decides it's gonna go ahead and attack the control room in what I feel like the director and everybody making this felt like was the money shot of the whole movie, is the big shark coming at you.
Yeah.
It looks terrible when you're watching it on,
the shark doesn't move. None of the fins move. Nothing moves. It's like the glass is moving toward the shark rather than the shark moving toward the glass. It's really, really badly shot.
It's painful. And then when it's supposed to hit the glass and it shatters and it's not really happening, it's like 3D and it's so ridiculous. It's so bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
So the shark gets stuck and it can't swim all the way into the control room, but it manages to grab hold of poor nephew Fred. And I love this. In another move, just like in the tunnel earlier, the shark decides it can swim backwards and pull straight out. And it kills and chomps on nephew Fred while it still has Fitzroyce in its mouth. How he eats nephew Fred and Fitzroyce is still in his mouth, I don't know.
I don't. That is very strange.
But it's key, as we see, to the plot, because the end of the movie here, how they want to end the movie, is Fitzroyce is holding onto that grenade, and Mike and Kay grab a long pole of some kind, and they hook the pin and they pull it, and the shark explodes. Again, what I'm only assuming was supposed to be a magical 3D moment. I'm guessing. Doesn't look that way to us when we're watching it now. So yeah, letdown because we're not enjoying it the way it was, I guess, intended to be viewed. And then the best, the most beautiful shot of the movie is Mike and Kay swimming to the surface, and you get this beautiful sunset. The dolphins have made it, and the dolphins jump in the air in a 3D shot.
Yep.
It's so beautiful and so triumphant.
It's so Free Willy.
And they freeze frame on it like we're supposed to be cheering for them or something. It's so bad. I mean, it's a beautiful shot scene, but it's so, what a cheesy ending.
Right. It doesn't fit.
No, not at all. Like, that's the end of our shark movie? Really? Ta-da, the dolphins. I don't know. I was taken out of this movie by so many of these bad 3D things that I can't even enjoy the dolphins or the sunset. Oh,
Right. Yeah, it was ridiculous at how bad it just did not fit in the rest of the film. It didn't go.
are there any other plot points? I did kind of move quickly through the plot. Was there anything I left out that you felt needed mentioning? I will say for myself, while you're thinking, Dennis Quaid, when he's trying to warn everybody and he's driving recklessly through the park on that golf cart.
Funny. So funny.
And yeah, and he almost swerves. He swerves and almost hits the lady pushing her kids in the little Shamu strollers.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what? He's so reckless.
Yeah.
How is he in charge of anything?
And the popcorn cart falls over and all the kids go and scoop up that gross popcorn that's on the ground. It's like, what the hell is going on here? Yeah, it's very.
You are my soul sister. I was watching that and cringing because
Yeah,
I was like, who's gonna eat that popcorn? That's so gross.
Yeah.
All right, so let me ask you. I've got 4 quick rapid fire questions here to wrap this up if you're game.
Yeah.
All right, so question 1. Do you think you would have enjoyed this more if it wasn't a 3D motion picture?
I don't think so, because I never saw it in 3D. So it's cheesy, and I can tell that, that arm was supposed to be 3D and things like that, but no.
Yeah.
It would be the same, I think.
Fair enough. I agree with you. I don't think I would like it anymore if it wasn't, because nothing would be changed. The plot's still the same.
Right.
Okay, question 2. Do you think that they did go to Venezuela?
Sure.
I
Are there
mean,
sharks there? I mean, I don't know, because the shark follows the Brody family, so I don't know.
Yeah, good point.
They didn't make it Jaws 3.5, so I don't really know if the shark ever made it to Venezuela. So,
Well, since you did mention the whole shark following the Brody family, that leads me to a Jaws the Revenge question. Who do you like better for Mike, Kay or Carla?
Kay.
Really?
Down. I do not like Carla. I think she is such a bitch. I do not like Carla. I want to know what happened to Kay.
Okay.
Did you ditch Kay? What happened?
Fair
Did
enough.
The cocaine usage just turn Kay off and she left you? I mean, what's going on here?
It was his bad house habits of letting the dog eat breakfast on the counter, I think.
Maybe that was it.
She was turned off by that long term.
Yeah.
Okay, final question. Do you think that it was the best move for SeaWorld to agree to be featured in this movie, having incompetent staff and malfunctioning equipment and attractions?
I don't think it changed anything for SeaWorld. I don't think anything for SeaWorld until Blackfish.
Okay.
So I don't think it hurt SeaWorld at all.
Yeah. And speaking of which, it was a little sad for me because of Blackfish, and I'm an animal lover, like you said, to see Shamu in the movie. I was like,
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I hate to end on a somber note, but I want to thank you so much for joining me to talk about this turd of a movie.
It was big floating turd. Yes, it was.
Very much so. But, I try to love Jaws as much as I can, but I just can't count this one in the franchise. I go 1, 2, 4, like I skip it.
Right.
So
that's fair.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's going to be it. Thank you so much, Tara, for joining me. Really.
Anytime. That was great.
All right. And thank you, everyone, for listening. And until next time, goodbye.
Our shark couldn't have killed Overman. Its mother did.
You're talking about some damn shark's mother?
Then perhaps we can have drinks and dinner tonight?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Fitzroyce, but that's a behavior I just don't do.
No, wait a minute. We're having dinner here.
You tell Shelby Overman for me. He can take a flying leap at a rolling donut on a gravel driveway.
Hey, is this my beeper or your beeper?
I don't know. I'll use this beeper.
Use their beeper.
I'll talk to you later.
All right, I'll have my beeper beep your beeper.
I'll have my beeper back.
Why don't we blow it up? Listen, nephew. It's a $2.5 million turbine that's not going to go up in smoke because of some damn fish. Now shut the pumps down.
Now, white sharks are killers. I know them, for God's sakes. My father, my brother, myself. They're murderers.
Daddy, look at the fish!
Holy shit! No grenades.
Overman was killed inside the park. The baby was caught inside the park. Its mother is inside the park.
Hey listeners, Movie Miss here. Listen, I know you have a lot of options when it comes to podcasts, so thank you for listening to the show. I know everybody says this, but for a fledgling little show like ours that's just hanging on, we just finished season 4, we're rolling into season 5, it would really help us if you could subscribe, rate, and review the show on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Good Pods. We're also on Pandora, Audible, Amazon Music. It would really help us grow the show and reach more people if you could subscribe and then rate and review, which is really the key part of it. Make sure to be part of our bad movie conversation by following us on social media. Interact with me on social media. I'm on Instagram at Movie Miss, which is movie_miss. The show is on Instagram at Let's Talk Turkeys. Also on Blue Sky at Let's Talk Turkeys and Facebook. We're on X. I'm honestly not sure how much longer I'm going to have the show on there, but currently the handle is at Gobble Podcast. Get it? Gobble, 'cause like a turkey. You can also chat with like-minded bad movie lovers in our Facebook discussion group. And like I mentioned, we're rolling into season 5. It is 2025. The show, it's been a wild ride, still going strong. So if you have a movie that you would like to hear covered on the show, let me know by emailing direct at letstalkturkeys, all one word, at yahoo.com. Also, hit me up on socials if you want to be a guest on the show. Always looking for guests. I can assign you a movie, something we think is fun, or you can bring a movie that you think is a bad movie if it has a low Rotten Tomatoes score, or you just really don't like the movie but you like to talk about it. That's half the fun, I think. Again, this goes without saying, but I'm going to say it. Without you, the show wouldn't still be kicking around. So thank you so much for hanging in there with us.
I'll be back.
Get the fuck out of here! No, I cannot. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Why don't you get the fuck out of here? Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.